So it's going to be your task to add a task to send a confirmation email. The first thing you need to do is add the send confirmation email servlet to your project, and it goes in the servlet package. You can get this servlet completely fully coded from the Lesson 5 folder, or you can write it yourself as you like. And then you need to make sure that you configure your send confirmation email servlet in web.xml. Then you need to update the create conference function in Conference API. You need to add the functionality to add the task to the task queue whenever anybody creates a conference. And if you like, you can also update this function to use transactions so that the profile and the conference entities get saved together and the task gets added to the task queue, and that all happens inside a transaction, or none of it happens. And you can get the template code to add to create conference from the Lesson 5 folder if you want, or you can try writing it yourself from scratch. So you can optionally put the code to create the conference inside a transaction. When you add the task to the queue in create conference function, you can use the default queue or you can use a named queue. It's up to you. But if you use a named queue, you need to make sure to configure the queue in queue.xml. You can also use the default queue but configure it to use other options like change the rate or change the retry options. And again, if you want to do that, you need to configure it in queue.xml. In that case, you would just add a queue named default to queue.xml. So the development server running on localhost does not send emails. It does add tasks to queues and actually has its own simple task queue viewer, but it won't actually send an email. So if you want to test the sending of emails, you're going to need to deploy your application to AppSpot. So when you've done testing it on localhost as much as you can, go ahead and deploy it to AppSpot. And then to test it, of course, you're going to need to create a new conference and then check your email to make sure that the email arrived. Did you get an email? And then go ahead and explore your task queues in the admin console. So check off each of these steps as you do them.